LPT, want to remember more from books? Use the Feynman technique. This is also a great skill when you're speaking on complex topics to people who are non-experts. This is why taking on training roles in your job can be very helpful. You don't realize how little you understand about something until you have to explain it to someone else. Delete the legacy knowledge department. Okay. Solid gold. Institutional knowledge get sh*t done. These folks earned their disaster. When someone asks you, are you sure, you better think really hard before going on with your idea. Things are not going the way you think they are going. Oh, they're just being inconvenienced right now. Wait until taxes are due. And vendors want their tax paperwork. Sounds like some possible compliance issues could arise and get the company into legal murky waters. Got to love manglement making decisions they haven't explored the scope or impact of. To foot by taking my girlfriend on an expensive date for her birthday and she broke up with me on our way back. How convenient that she had this epiphany right after ordering all the expensive things at an expensive restaurant. Honestly. It sounds like she took advantage of you, brother. You dodged a bullet. Hope you find someone that appreciates the effort you put into the relationship. Don't let this experience get you down too bad. Maybe take yourself out for a nice dinner as a little pick-me-up. Treat yourself. She picked the place, she ordered the food, all the while knowing she was going to dump you, so send her a request for half the money back. Till Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, was so good at Tetris that Nintendo Power magazine eventually stopped publishing his high scores because he dominated the leaderboard. Sometimes this mysterious Ovechkinzo would also top the leaderboard. Fun fact, he is still an active salaried employee of Apple. If teenagers ask me to buy them booze, and I knew it was a police sting, what would happen if I just took their money and drove away? It would be petty theft at a minimum for simply taking their cash, I'd imagine. A zealous prosecutor might try to say you did so with intent to furnish restricted items to minors, but that'd be a stretch. I took their money to teach them a lesson and deprive them of the ability to ask others. Then you'd be back to petty theft. Accepting money to do an illegal thing is itself illegal, even if you never deliver. I asked this exact question in a lawyer group on Facebook a few months ago and never got a good answer. At this point you stole their money. LPT, how to get a human on customer service calls. I was trying to get through to FedEx earlier today about adding a unit number to a shipment and the auto prompts kept shutting me down. Next call I said your driver hit my car and boom, instant human. Saying I'm returning a call generally works too. ATT and Xfinity response with this: you have exceeded the number of attempts, goodbye. What based on a true story movie is not a true story at all. The Irishman. Similar to Catch Me If You Can, in that mobster who took credit and wrote the book succeeded in convincing folks just to sell copies. One of the agents who investigated Jimmy Hoffa's murder specifically said there was no way he was the killer. And other mobsters said he was a low-level enforcer with big drug problems. There's no way the mafia would have trusted him with such an important hit. Hacksaw. The movie's depiction is significantly toned down compared to what really happened. Private Das was severely malnourished due to his dietary restrictions at the time, saved more lives than they show, and actually kept saving lives after becoming seriously injured until they basically dragged him away against his will. Most of it should be inspired by true events, not based on Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. That's not actually how Kyle Gass and Jack Black met. Till aquedots were recalled for containing a chemical that metabolizes to the controlled substance GHB when ingested. For anyone like me who doesn't know what aquedots are, they're a kid's toy. Small beads that can make into shapes and then sprayed with water to solidify. Did they get you high or just give you a false positive on a drug test? We don't recall poppy seed bagels. They used to sell 1,4-butanediol on Amazon, lol. My graduate advisor wanted to do a project involving GHB and she couldn't figure why the two of us needed DIA clearance. I had to have an awkward conversation about rave drugs with her. How does a plane crash land, end up upside down on the runway, and no one is dead? Seatbelts save lives. Hella good piloting, staff, etc. I imagine the pilot didn't say when he got up this morning that he was gonna flip a plane. Guessing when the wings were lost, the plane rolled. If we want your input, we will ask for it. Period. The fact that so many people have used that phrase means the company is actually being deceitful in its hiring practices. When was the last time an inventory audit was conducted? Disgruntled employees poorly supervised with expensive merchandise have a tendency to supplement their wages. Till Captain Francesco Schettino caused the Costa Concordia disaster, leading to 32 deaths, because he was distracted trying to impress a woman. Even after the crash, he didn't tell anyone for over an hour about the massive hole in the ship and was more worried about coming up with an excuse. Captain Francesco Schettino, who is on trial for multiple manslaughter, insists that he slipped off the Costa Concordia as it rolled over after hitting rocks off the island of Giglio, and fell onto a lifeboat which carried him ashore. I was on a cruise where the captain was visibly drunk, always partying it up with the guests. It felt weird, inappropriate, and it made an impression. A couple years later, I read about this accident and immediately thought, it couldn't be. Yep. Same captain. This was the norm, not the exception. I don't know if I could have complained or done something that would have changed the outcome, but I think about that. The guy is real-life Zap Brannigan. There's a documentary on this on YouTube. The Coast Guard asked him to return to ship when he bailed and made excuses. He was the first to make his way to coast. People started calling him Captain Coward because of his antics and stupidity. I apologized to my mom. I have a feeling the BF might not have lasted very long. It's great that you and your mom share the same sense of humor. How did her BF react? Till during WW2, in order to prevent the Nazis from turning it into a base for U-boats, the British invaded Iceland. There was only one casualty, a Royal Marine who committed suicide en route. My grandmother's eldest brother was in the occupation force. The regiment printed approved Christmas cards so soldiers could say, "Hello from Iceland," with no personal details added beyond a signature. He died at Dieppe. My grandmother still has the Christmas card he sent her from Iceland. She's 99 and a half right now. The US, not in the war yet, and Canada took over the occupation so the British could use their troops elsewhere. Till Max Payne was originally named Max Heat and 3D Realms spent over $20,000 trademarking the name before someone at the company suggested Max Payne, which was immediately adopted. I bet that person at the company got a Max bonus that year too. I got the idea from a hairdryer. Like and subscribe.